Mark Hoverson was also there, and Mark and I have been friends for quite some time here. He said 80% of the sales come after the no. Don't let go. That's why I teach in my Team Mini Launch webinar system that you campaign. You don't just follow up. You campaign. You loop back to them. You come back. You change your offer. You incentivize them in a different way. You maybe give a discount, whatever it happens to be. But you don't let go. Knowing that 80% of the sales come after no. I don't let go for nothing. He also talked about when doing webinars. I have my Team Mini Launch webinar system. He says to release the price point 14 minutes into the webinar. So rather than do that whole buildup of interest and then at 45 minutes you share the price and they're like, oh man, and they leave. While they're highly engaged in that first 15 minutes, then bring in the price, and then we do something called price conditioning, really substantiating the value of that price. What else did Mark say? Okay, I did like what he said. This has made a huge difference for him negotiating sales or closing them down, is when people have the objection about, well, I don't have the budget for it, I don't have the money. He asks them, is your heart in this? Are you feeling this in your gut? That's by the way, that's called coming from your limbic brain, where you just know in your heart this is right for you. He said, don't be a servant to money at that point. You make money your servant. And when your heart tells you, your limbic brain, I always act on that, because that's this intuitive sense that we've been blessed with. When you know how that is, your gut says, no, or your gut is saying, I gotta do this. Make money your servant, and the money will follow after from that decision. So that's what I got from Mark, along with a whole bunch of other things. And then sadly, I have to say, I had to fly out just a little bit early. I had to rush right at the end of the workshop. So I missed a good segment of Tim's sales presentation, which I felt badly about. I had to check out of my hotel room. But he talked about, this is what I picked up right at the last 10 minutes or so, which I totally concur with. He said, you know, in the face-to-face discussion, when you're doing your prospecting, you want to get on the same page. You're in agreement, okay? You know, you don't keep moving down that sales process until you're on that agreement level, point by point by point. So I made a note in here in my trusty little notebook about, in my webinars, to do the same thing, kind of check in with them at that, which the devices I have at my disposal through GoToWebinar, raising the hand function, and they can type a comment in the panel, just, you know, are they with me still? Instead of me talking at them, I'm working with them, and we've got to agree all the way through this sales process when I do my webinar presentation. So I'm gonna have to come back and watch the recording so I can see all of Tim's sales training, and I hated missing that. Okay. Oh, here's another tip I have from Mark. And he was saying right away at the beginning of a webinar, write in the panel the #1 reason they're there. And I've implemented that as well. I want them thinking, you know, get as highly engaged as possible.